on. So first of all, hello, good evening. It's August 11th, and we're excited to be here with you. And that's one of the beautiful things about Zoom is we feel like we're in your living room. So Terry and David Miller, Integrated Presidential Business Leaders. And so we do this call every Monday evening at 6:45 after the leadership call. If the leadership call goes a little bit long, then we start directly after, because that is the most important one to be on. And we have a lot. You know what? It's good to be us right now.
Yeah, exactly. We, coming off of July, we had, again, like Terry shared on the leadership call, an amazing month. Just throwing a challenge together in a short period of time, 2 weeks, and figuring out things, adding things to that process. The result was, and we still haven't got the final on that, it's been pretty amazing. We're still building off of that.
Yeah, and I love it that, it's good to be us, but, I heard Dr. Anderson say a couple weeks ago, it's good to be an American, because you know what? We're going to actually do this thing. We're going to really get America healthy. And Jennifer Kent shared early before the calls actually started here that, what she's doing is she's actually doing what we've all been suggesting along the line. Just talk to people, pick up the phone, follow up, be a professional, do all of those things. So we do have a great call lineup. And as all of you know, this call lasts 30 minutes. We finish right at 30 minutes. And the other thing is that we make sure that we have 3 topics, well, actually 2 topics, and we have 2 for you tonight, and then we're gonna open it up for Q&A. But I do want to say that for a variety of different reasons, we do have Doug Wood and his organization, Doug and Tia Wood and their organization joining us tonight. Normally it's outside our presidential legs, but Doug and Tia are just moving over to Phoenix, literally their feet landed today. So Doug, I don't know if Tia's with you. I think she's getting the girls settled for back to school night. But Doug, can you come on and say a few things?
Hey, Terry and David, we are here and excited. I just thought it was pretty timely with the Thin It to Win It kicking off. I know we're going to talk about here the next few minutes, but I tell you what, I think you guys nailed it. There's no better time to be a Take Shape for Life health coach than right now. And I love how Dr. Anderson tonight on Leadership Call just said it very clear. He's like, it's like we roll this thing out in stages, and now it's time to take it to the next level and time to promote. And if you know me at all, I love to promote. And I know we're going to talk about how we can really promote this challenge. And so I'm just excited. I thought it was great that we could just team up with you guys tonight. And here we go. So let's get started.
Tia, do you want to say hello or howdy or anything?
Absolutely. Always love being in this community, and excited for the Thin It to Win It, because out of the Meltdown Challenge, literally clients, coaches starting, I think we started 4 new coaches out of the Meltdown Challenge. It's just really exciting. Things are going on. The momentum is like taking my breath away. I'm really excited for this next season and what's to come for Take Shape for Life, because really the momentum's there. We just got to ride this wave.
So many changes for Take Shape for Life, so many changes for you guys. I noticed Jeffrey smiling really big when he heard you guys are moving down to Arizona and the Phoenix area. So, you're going to have some fast friends down there. I know you spent some time, but really excited for the next phase of your guys' Take Shape for Life career and your life as well.
Yeah, excellent. So we do have, like we said, we have a little bit larger crew here today. But one of the beautiful things about that is that Zoom has enhanced. They now can hold up to 1,000 people, 100 people on video. So if you go up in the top right-hand corner and you see, if you're on an actual computer, not a pad, you can see the thing that looks like a Rubik's Cube, and it shows that we can kind of get all in. We can all get on the screen. If you look on the left or right-hand side, it says 1 out of 4, and you can scroll over and see all of us. So how cool is that? We're going to grow. We're going to grow so big that Zoom has to get bigger and bigger just for us.
Just for us.
Just for us. Wasn't that nice of them to do that? So, like I said, you know what? We're a family, and we're growing. And I'm just chatting with the Woods today. I knew that their feet were just getting planted, and they came and joined us. So we have 2 topics here for you tonight. The first is the challenge. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. And the next is the incentive trip. How many of you plan on qualifying for the incentive trip? That's actually the first decision is making a decision to qualify. So we're going to talk about that next. But the main thing that we want to talk about, so how many of you participated in the July Health Challenge? Okay, just a second. Actually, you have to keep your hands raised because I got to scroll through all the 4. Okay, it looks like about, David, would you say 90%?
Yep,
It looks
like
about
almost
90,
everybody.
almost 90%. So first of all, let's all just say a great big thank you to Dr. Anderson for allowing us to do the beta test, because we're all going to be above the learning curve. So it's really kind of interesting because the people on the backside are kind of like, actually, you know what, David? They feel like we did our first 2 weeks. How many of you in the first 2 weeks were like, oh my gosh, what did we get into? But, when we were starting the beta test, we just could only see right in front of us. I felt like we were in the dark with a very dim flashlight, and I couldn't really grasp that was going on. Now I can tell you what's up around the corner, around the bend, and over the river and through the woods.
Yeah, it seemed so easy when we started out. Run a challenge, get a bunch of people in it. Yeah, a little bit more to that, but we've gone through the test phase of it. We've added a few great features to it, just make it more intuitive to Take Shape for Life, and really information capturing device, and then actually running people through the correct process to bring them in, get them healthy, and then introduce coaching as well. So at the end of the I think at the end of the challenge, they are basically ripe for the picking. The ones that have the ones that have interest in health coaching, enjoyed the process, and can see themselves, they're having fun and can see themselves doing this themselves. So and with that, we had, I don't know, as a percentage wise, I think we had probably a 50% increase over the previous months of health coaches.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I was going to go there. You stole it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so so this challenge is going to be 6 weeks, and the thing is when we started the challenge, we kind of went in blind. We didn't know what to expect or what our results would be. But how many of you would like to know what our final results were and how that factored into all the activity that we did? Would you guys like? I always like to know kind of. Whoops, this isn't very nice. What's in it for me? And so the thing is that, so if any of you have been in Take Shape for Life for a while, often July is a lower month. Okay, so and sometimes by a significant amount. So the first thing I want to tell you, overall, those who actively participated in the challenge, their July was as good as their June. So that right there, that number's panned out. That told us hands down that was outstanding. And for people who really, 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 really jumped in, they did better in July than they did in June. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is we had a lot more new clients in July than we did in June. So that tells us that also. But the number one thing is we had over 300 new coaches during our, from July 1st to today, which is, normally we end up around 100 and we've been right around 130, 140 new coaches a month. So what does that tell you guys? That this
my numbers were off. More than 100% growth.
Yes.
And then plus.
Yeah. So how great is that? Because with that said, let me say real quick, on Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, I am going to be doing a training on making sure that you assist your new coaches to start well. It's on all of our Facebook pages, so you can find it there. And if you personally sponsored anybody from July 1st to today, you received an invite from me for that, so you have the link. So because the key is, it's not just bringing in the new coaches, because we're not a recruiting model. That's not what we do. Is we actually assist them. And what I had realized is that some of you were still in the telling mode with new coaches, and we still need to be in the visiting mode with them and finding out what they're looking for, in the aiming, figuring out what their intrinsic motivation, and working in a relationship. And that is so, 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 so vital. I can't even begin to express how vital it is. You know, there's some very clear best practices steps. And how many of you would like to know what those are so you could help your new coaches off to really good steps? So I would invite you to come onto the Zoom. Like I said, it's all over the Facebook pages if you personally sponsored anybody, but it'll be on the Facebook pages. The thing that I do want to say is I've invited the presidentials to come on and share their best practices also. And then there's a little video to watch. Okay, so with that said, let's talk about the challenge for a minute. So this is what we've learned now that we've gone up around the corner, around the bend, over the river, and through the woods. So basic. It was so basic. It was so amazing. There's 3 things to do. Well, I totally get to steal your quote.
Right. It's all yours.
It's all mine. It's the invite everybody to the party and mingle with them while they're at the party. Okay. So on the front end here, what I want to share with you is inviting everybody to the party. Okay, I'm gonna. I cannot express enough. When I mean everyone, I literally mean everyone, because what's going to be happening during these 6 weeks is you're going to be working your business, and if you left anybody out, they're not going to be mingling with you in the party, and you're going to have to step outside the party to go play with them, which is great and wonderful. But if you had the possibility to get them in the challenge before, you should have, because as we all know, there's incentive money. You know, there's the 50% payout, and then there's the 25%, which is incentive money. And that goes in client scholarships and coach scholarships. And if there weren't a challenger, they don't get to benefit from the scholarship money. So if they're only not in the challenge just because you didn't invite them, that's your bad. If they're not in because they didn't say yes, that's their bad, right? You know, so I cannot express enough how to really, really go out all after it. So I'm going to give you a 3-step method. Are you ready? Does everybody have their pens in hand? Okay. This is how basic it is. And let me tell you, I'm not the ones that thought of this. You guys all taught me. Share with everybody about the challenge. Okay. And what we found is there's 3 basic places where you're going to share this. What we found to be best was via text. We wrote out a text. There's going to be a sample one on this webpage that Dr. Anderson talked about tonight. And it was literally like, hey, I'm participating in a July health challenge or fall health challenge. And you can do anything you want. Let's get healthy, and I want you on my team. Something like that. It was beyond basic. And I literally just did copy and paste to every single contact in my phone that wasn't one of our coaches already. I mean, yeah, which, you know, so I did that. I literally sat on the water, just did copy, paste. So, okay, so that was one way. The next way was I emailed out every single one of my email contacts, again, that was, that, you know, were not my coaches, that were not our coaches. And then third, I, of course, use social media. You know, you gotta take fully use what's in front of you. So regarding Facebook, I did private messages to every single one of our friends on Facebook that was not a coach. So, you know, because with Facebook you have other friends, you know, right, that are other people's coaches. So I did that. So I did private message. I also set up an event, which I'm a big girl now. I set up an event.
All by yourself.
I followed the instructions step by step verbatim that Shane LaBelle wrote out. So easy. And then the other thing is I just, once the, and the next thing is I went live on my wall of my Facebook, but you won't want to go live on your wall until probably September 1st. So that was how I shared. Okay. And then anybody that replied back, hey, tell me more, or count me in, or whatever. I mean, if I even got a hi, haven't heard from you in a while, they went on my list of people I followed up on. I just had this long ongoing list. So the next is, so I added them to the list, and then I sent them a video of the a generic video of what the challenge is. We've got, again, on that website that Dr. Anderson talked about, is there will be 4 or 5 great videos that you can send out to people. There's going to be 3 generic ones, and there's one for mommies, and there's also one that Kevin Tinter is doing for military. There's just a variety of different ones that we use. So I sent them out what was specific to them, what I felt was the best thing for them. And then I immediately followed it up with my room key. So I invited them into my room. So share, and then invite with the room key. And then the third one is follow up. Okay, and so this was my theory. So how many of you sometimes, like while you're waiting in line at the grocery store, you can read your text, and you maybe need to take care of something, but you're not right there where you can? I knew that was happening to the people that I was inviting and texting also. So I followed up and followed up and followed up and followed up and followed up. And I am not joking. I'm not lying. Some people I followed up 15 times.
Stalker.
Stop. But I was polite and oh, I know you want to join me. You're whatever. I just kept following up, whether it's via text, email, or private Facebook, until I could see on my page that they had signed up. And I think that right there was the difference between the people who filled up their rooms and those who didn't. I think sometimes people think, well, I don't want to bother them. But how many of you get messages or texts or whatever that you think you need to take care of later? And then sometimes it slips your mind because they have to be near a computer with their visa and have 10 minutes to do it, to sign up. And all 3 of those things don't always happen. Okay? So that was the number one thing. So the one thing that I would like you guys all to decide on in the next week is do you want to host a room of your own? David and I are hosting the entire hotel for our organization, as you heard Dr. Anderson. But should you have a hotel room? You got to have 10 people.
Yeah, definitely. You want to have enough people to create excitement and have fun. Less than that, and it just gets it's no fun at the party.
Yeah. So but knowing that you will invite your clients, your inactive clients, and then all of your pre-clients, which if you were on the leadership call, which I presume you all were, David and I believe that a pre-client is anyone that's not a client. That's what we decide. That's our definition of a pre-client. Someone that hasn't said yes yet. And so if you really go all out after it, you should be able to have 10 people in your room. So if that's something that you want to do, you're gonna you guys, you'll email my assistant, and I can give you the email address. I'll give it to you right now. It's Jen at mgh.guru, and say, yes, Jen, I would like to host a room. But there's going to be plenty of time for that. We're going to get more information out to you. But the thing is if you want to fully participate in this, just go full out and run with it. And like I was saying on the leadership call, I think the number one thing is to make sure that you don't spend all your time getting ready for this challenge, because you still have your August to build and do your business. Doug, it looks like, I think you have a good idea that you want to maybe pass on. Do you want to come on?
Yeah, Terry, you had just mentioned about, I just want to clarify something, and then I'll elaborate. You had said something about really announcing it on social media. You're saying about September 1st?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Something that T and I have been discussing and taking a look at is, we all know that anticipation, everybody loves to anticipate something and what's coming. And so we're looking at doing a big announcement coming September 1st. And it's not going to be, what people might think. Don't alarm anybody that maybe you're moving or having a baby or something that could go the wrong way. But a big announcement, and we're still playing around with this, and maybe you can kind of guide this too and check with your business coach. But starting at about the 10-day mark, saying, in 10 days from now, we have a huge announcement that's going to really, it's going to be all over. You're going to hear about it, and then go 10 days, 5 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day to really build the excitement. And then the Thin It to Win It challenge is here on September 1st. So it's really building momentum. Like, people are wanting to know. And by then, I bet there's a lot of money already in the pot. And so when you do come live, you'll be probably able to say, there's already $10,000, $15,000 in the kitty for the Thin It to Win It challenge. And it'll be really something that has built some great anticipation.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So tomorrow, I love that. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., we have a global Thin It to Win It brainstorming creative session going on, Doug. And I love, how many, raise your hand if you love that. I mean, that I think is going to be great. So that is excellent. The number one thing I just want to say is, please do not be getting ready to get ready. Keep working your business as normal. This is another tool.
It is, and it's a great tool. I think a phenomenal tool. I think that everybody has been given this phenomenal tool. All we have to do is put action behind it, and it will work for us and make it fun. The other thing is fun. The fun factor is a big part of this thing. And whether they want to follow you afterwards or become a client or become a coach is because how much fun they had interacting with you through this process. The other thing is what Doug talked about. One of the other things that we tend not to do as coaches, we'll offer it, and if they don't react first on the first offering, we kind of like, oh, they don't want it. But this gives you, you could do like even a top 10 reasons why you want to do the challenge, and send that out to them 10 days before, starting 10 days before the challenge. And so that's a touch. That's 10 touches before the challenge starts, and just gives you multiple reasons to like Terry was saying and attesting to, is it was the follow-up that got the largest number of people in the challenge.
Oh, absolutely. And so I want to just a few logistics before we move on to the incentive details, just real quick, is so if somebody has their own room, you want to have at least 10 people in your room. I mean, that's if by the time the challenge date comes around and you don't have 10, we'll be moving you to a new room. Okay. So, but if what we found is if you have about 20 clients, you should be able to pull it together with inactive clients and your pre-clients. So the question is, oh my gosh, that's great. I could fill a room, but I have coaches or senior coaches on my team. Where do they go? Is right. That's the question. What I would suggest is they come in your room. The 2.0 version of the Meltdown Challenge, you'll be able to track who brought in who. Okay, so bring in your baby coaches with you into your room and guide them and show them how you interact. And how you do a huddle, a health huddle with your team on Zoom and stuff. But bring them in with you. There's no room that's too big by any means. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say with that. Okay, the next thing. So new topic is the incentive trip. So do you guys all know what your base points are? Do you guys all get that figured out? You know what? Why don't we take 2 or 3 questions? If you think you have a question about the incentive trip that you think that probably is on the mind of most people, could you come off Zoom and ask, so that I can kind of get a feel for what people are needing and wanting to know about the incentive trip? Who wants to be the person? Come on.
Does everybody, if you understand completely the incentive trip, raise your hand. I don't see everybody's hand going up.
Okay. So somebody come off mute and ask a question.
So if you didn't raise your hand, you probably have a question.
Okay. Can I just say something? This is Jan. I took
Yes.
myself off mute. I listened to Kelly Rife today with one of her coaches on that incentive, the video. That was amazing. It totally took the pressure off. It helped you to see. It's on Team Global Webinars. It was amazing. I don't know if anyone else has listened to it, but I hope you do.
Jan, that is exactly right. The little role playing that she did in it answered every question you could possibly imagine, and it accelerated where you need to earn your points. So that is the cool thing. So this is our second incentive trip since they've done the ICP, and they've worked out all the kinks. I mean, this is if anybody really wants to be there and go for it, I really think that it is going to be outstanding. So one of the questions that's coming in on the chat window is, where can you find that? So you're going to go to www.teamglobalwebinars.com. Jan, where did you find it there? You're on. Okay.
You know, it was right on the main page when you go up on the very first part of it. It talked about up on the left forms, and when it says forms, and I don't remember what it says, top green box on the left, forms.
Okay.
And when you opened it up, it clicked onto you could click on the webinar.
Great. Eric, are you on it?
Thanks, Jan.
Looks like Eric's digging it out there. So yeah, perfect. That is excellent. And then any other questions, and any other other questions that anybody can think of for that particular topic? Okay, Doug, I know you wanted to come on and share one more thing about the challenge.
Actually, I'm gonna propose that as a question to you. What would you say, as you said, since the last challenge, we've had over 300-ish health coaches come into our businesses, your businesses, all of our businesses over the last 2-3 weeks. I would say, from what I know, probably 80 to 90% of that is because of the last challenge. So I want to pause right there for a second and just think about what we just did with such a short amount of time, with very lack of promotion. So my question for you, David and Terry, and maybe we could posture this right, would be, what would you say to the business coaches on the line? I also know there's some new coaches on the line, but as we've started all these health coaches in the last week or two, there's many people here on the line or getting ready to go, okay, just want to earn my cab. And then what about this health challenge that I was a part of or I wasn't a part of, and how do I promote it? Where should I be putting my time in a value to start promoting the challenge, or just sharing the program with people? Maybe you guys could talk about that for a second.
You know what, Doug, that is actually such an outstanding question, because this is what I'm going to go with. Are you ready? Business as usual. You know, that this is just an additional tool. So Doug, I'll answer your question. Like, so if you have Doug, if you have a new coach on your team, you're going to connect with that new coach and, have a one-to-one conversation to find out what that new coach is looking for. What, are they wanting to build a really big organization, or do they want to get their grandma Mary healthy? What are they wanting to do? And then working with them specifically towards their goals and kind of moving them a little bit bigger picture. Let's say they're somewhere in between. We have, so you're going to be moving them through, doing 3-way calls with them and moving them through. But then now, let's say September 1st, we're going to start launching and promoting the health challenge. You're going to help them with their entire share list, invite their entire share list to the challenge. But I really just want to say it's business as usual. It's just another tool.
But I'd have to say that having this tool actually helped other people be more comfortable about sharing, bringing people in, the new tools, and simplifying everything that came out of National Conference has given people the confidence to go out and share. We were starting to get more and more health coaches, percentage-wise, before we even got to the end of the challenge. And then that just accelerated afterwards. And so basically, I think adding this feature to and the new tools and simplifying everything, I think it's just gotten a lot of health coaches that were kind of stagnant or moving backwards back into momentum again. And that's very exciting. And as Dan always says, a rising tide raises all ships. And I think that's the point we're seeing and why we're so excited about how we're moving forward in this next year.
Yes, and back to the I'm glad you brought this up, Doug, because that was something I wanted to share. Is in the spirit of business as usual, our job is to share our program and our opportunity. It's actually our job is to share the trilogy. So at whatever level, whatever each person is needing. So Doug, if I meet you out and about and we talk about health, and you are what I consider a credit card thrower, meaning you immediately decide, yes, I want health. I want health. I'm going to get you signed up on program right there. Okay, and well, probably not at the grocery store, but when I follow up in the phone call to find out what you're looking for and see if it's a match. Okay, I'm going to get you started right there. Then you're going to get in the process of the new support videos, and you're going to get the ebook and the welcome email from Dr. Anderson. And somewhere along the lines, I'm probably going to start you in the 12-week health transformation, but probably not at that point because that's going to be a lot of information. But and then when the challenge comes along, I'm going to see if you're interested in coming into the challenge. Okay, but let's say I meet you at the grocery store and I follow up the next day and I have a conversation with you and you're not sure if this is what you want to do and you're going on vacation for 2 weeks and you ask me to follow up with you in a couple weeks. I say, great, I'm gonna send you the ebook. And I'm gonna see if maybe you want to get started in the 12-week transformation and do those types of things. And then I'm going to follow up when you get back from your vacation. And if you're ready to go, then we're going to get going. But if you're not ready to go, I'm still going to follow up with you regarding the 12-week, the challenge in September. So that's the way we're working it. Is if business as usual, our job is to start clients and support them and keep them moving. And our ebook, our 12-week transformation, and the challenge are just more layering processes to what we do.
The ebook is great. I think that Dr. A coming out with that helped so many coaches feel more comfortable. Once somebody says, I'm interested, send me something. And I think that before, a lot of people would send them something that didn't inspire, didn't connect. This has no doubt sparks interest in any individual who reads it. And
I'm going to share screen here and show you this outstanding document that Russ McCann made over the weekend. And it's basically an outline of all the different things that we have going right now, whether it be the ebook, the 12-week transformation, the client support videos, and the health coaching event, the health challenge events. And it basically shows us, because we do two things in this business, is we develop and support clients and we develop and support health coaches. And so this is an outstanding little process. The thing with and again, this is all over the Facebook pages. You can find it on there. The thing that we do, you want to make sure is be in action. Body in motion stays in motion. And
business in motion stays in motion.
That's exactly right. Is follow up, be interactive with the people, and the challenges are very high tech, but we also need to remember that we need to be very high relational. So you absolutely want to have a lot of clients in there. A lot of your inactive clients might come back if they come in there. And you also want to have a lot of pre-clients, because what's going to happen is a lot of people will become coaches and a lot of clients will move forward in the habits of health. So the big question is okay, this is probably not a good little thing, but it's a pretty good big, which piece of the pie, how big a piece of pie are you wanting to take from this?
And Terry, I think if I could just piggyback on what you're saying, would be you and David are hitting it right out of the park, because as we know, just from basic business 101, there's different seasons and there's different surges of business. And to all the coaches on the line right now, and Terry and David, I know, and you're probably your 11 years of Take Shape for Life, even my 4.5, there's never been a season like right now. And if I could encourage each and every one of you on the line, if you need to go and have a little talk with a spouse or give them the puppy dog eyes and say, honey, I'm going to be busy the next 6 weeks. And I'm going to go all out, and I'm going to be on the phone. I'm going to be creating relationships. And you know what? You can thank me here in about 2 months after I go blow this thing up and literally ride the wave of health with Take Shape for Life. And I'm dead serious when I say that we're we are really at a key pivotal time right now that you have the momentum, that we have the momentum to take shape for life. But what you do with it right now, the next 6 weeks, and I'm only saying between right now, August 11th or something like that, 10th or 11th, through about mid-September. It's really only about 4 weeks. Get the kids back in school, get this challenge up and going of really what you do the next 4 weeks. I really believe will be strong and pivotal to where your business really takes shape, no pun intended, between now and January and on through March. So I just wanted to add that, Terry and David, as you guys are, I know, having your own inside conversation there, but to go along with that.
Yeah, Doug, and that's exactly it. Is we were just, as you were saying that, remembering that's what we did, is we dove in, we put our head down, and we worked. We had a goal of getting David out of UPS in 18 months, and after putting our head down and working and staying focused, we got him home in 9 months. So it was.
And we didn't have the offering we have today. We didn't have the tools we had today. We were creating the tools as we went, and now we have these phenomenal tools at our fingertips that are going to do a lot of the work that we had to do for you. And so the ability to grow rapidly, and we actually, back in those days, we grew pretty fast, just because it was so simple, but the offering was still more of a diet at that point. And we wanted to have longevity, and if what really is going to catapult us into the history books is that we have to develop a program that it has longevity to it, and the habits of health. And now we've gone through that process, and it slowed us down a little bit. We're okay with that, because sometimes you got to slow down the ship a little bit before you take off, because once you get that thing going, if you're going the wrong direction, it takes a little bit longer to turn it. And so we feel like we've really established ourselves on who we are, what we want to accomplish, and how we want to accomplish it. And now we have these phenomenal tools that make it easy for each and every coach to really put their head down and get that momentum going. So I'm getting a little long-winded here, but I'm really excited. That's why. But this challenge is really going to be amazing for everybody. And if you don't have the success this year, or the remainder of this year and into next year, you have only one person to blame, and you have to go find a mirror to find that person. But that is the only reason this business will not grow.
Yeah, and it is. And I just want to, again, give clarity. Please go to that document that I pulled up of Russ McCann's on there. Somebody was asking, doesn't the challenge interfere with the Stop Challenge shoes? They're two completely different things. The Stop Challenge shoes 12-week transformation is an outgoing process. And a small email comes into your email every single day. The person participating in it there's no interaction whatsoever at all. The Thin It to Win It challenge is a complete interaction. So two completely different things. And it is perfectly okay it would be perfectly okay for a new client to get the ebook, which is just, thank you, Dr. A, for that. To start as a new client and start their videos. First of all, have you guys all gone to your website and watched those? Thank you, everybody, for doing that. So the videos, the Stop Challenge and Choose video, emails, and the Thin It to Win It. It would be perfectly okay. If they don't want to see them all, there is always a delete button. Okay? So you have to remember that they all have their place, and you probably won't use all 4 of them for each person. You're going to customize it. But I don't need to go out how we're using it. So anyway, so we're going to close this for now. But thank you, the Wood organization, for coming on our call tonight, and Doug, you always add such value. So let's so I hope to see many of you on the Zoom training on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Again, it's all over the Facebook pages where you can get that information. Actually, if you want, the meeting number is, are you ready? If you want to write it down, the Zoom number is 867. Honey, they're going to confuse him.
Huh?
You're going to confuse him. Okay. He wants to sing. Okay, I'm going to let him sing it. Okay?
Who knows the Tommy Two-Tone song, Jenny?
Okay, so the number is 86753.
309-111.
Okay, would anybody like me to repeat that?
Does anybody want me to sing that again? I don't think so.
So it's 8675309-111. That's my Zoom room number. Okay, so you just log in there at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we will have some great lineup for training. So we, keep going and keep talking to your challengers, and let's get all ready. So with that said, again, thank you for all the speakers, and that's it.
See you next Monday.
It's a take. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.